Hello everyone and Happy New Year. I hope you've enjoyed a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate and that you had a good start to the new year. I had a lovely last couple of weeks with lots of family time and lots of really good food. So I'm definitely starting the year off on a very positive note. I think it's nice in the beginning of a new year to reflect on the past year and maybe set some priorities for the new year. And so that's what I will be doing today using a video I filmed a couple months ago. And I also have some pretty big news to share, so stick around to see all of that. So the other video I'm talking about is one I filmed about 5 months ago, I think mid-July. I will link that up here, where I set some goals that I wanted to hit by the end of 2022. I honestly don't even remember what exactly I said in that video, which is why I also need to watch it right now. And so I'm going to watch that and then comment, did I achieve that? Why not? Why I did, or etc. So I'll do that, then share my news, and then maybe talk about some of the future priorities or future goals. So I have the video right here in front of me on my laptop. So I'm going to start that and then move it to wherever I start talking about the specific goals. And today's video will be a chatty one. I thought it's time that I reflect a little bit on what has happened in that first half of the year and then focus on what are my plans, what are my goals for the next 6 months. First, I want to talk about macrame itself as the art form. So in the past 6 months, I can definitely see that I've learned a lot and I made big progress. I think I can do more advanced projects now. I think the end result looks better than it did before. And I think what I've learned is that I really enjoy the big pieces. I enjoy the big wall hangings. I enjoy the chandeliers, which I feel like are kind of my specialty because I don't really see that many people doing them. So I know I want to be doing more of those. And what I also enjoy is trying new things. Of course, I think there are still things to improve when it comes to my macrame pieces. I definitely want to keep working on the symmetry of my pieces because I also really enjoy the geometrical pieces where the symmetry is super, super important. So hopefully you will see, and I will see, even more improvement in my future projects. All right, so as for those macrame goals that I was talking about at first, I think, have continued on the path of making big pieces and making the chandeliers. That's still the part that I enjoy the most. I think in the second half of the year, I only made one more chandelier, the spring one, I think. But there were definitely a couple of big wall hangings that I was making that I really enjoyed. And I think I've gotten to a point where I don't want to just give those things away. I want to sell them because I feel like they look really, really good. And I feel like I've really learned how to do them well, and like you can see the quality and the experience in the piece. And it's just like with some of the other stuff or maybe the smaller pieces, I don't, I'm completely fine just taking them to a charity shop and leaving it there, giving it away, and I'm happy to do that. I've done that with many pieces at this point that were from my kind of earlier macrame stages. The ones that I mean, there were pieces that I would not be able to like sell with a clear conscience, but the new ones, I am definitely proud of quite a few of those. So I feel like I've definitely achieved the goal of, I guess, getting better. I also then talked about the symmetry. So that, I think, especially with like the advanced geometrical piece and some, but also like the others as well, I think that I am also getting really good at that. So I feel like I've done pretty well in this section. Also with trying the new stuff, although like yes and no maybe on that one, because I feel like I haven't really tried that much, or so like out of my comfort zone or something. So that's something that I think will still come in the future. And then the last thing when it comes to these really like macrame related goals is I would love to do some kind of a collaboration with other artists, maybe with other brands that have certain relevance to my macrame projects. I don't know. I just really enjoy working with other people. Okay, the collaboration, unfortunately, I did not get to do any. I do have kind of one planned where I've gotten some different cords. So to try out, other than, that I normally work with the brand Bobini. So now I do have also a different brand to kind of test out and see how I like that. So I do have that, but other than this, I haven't really done this. I still do have some of those ideas, but I'll see. I'll see about those. So those were my macrame goals. Now, I guess everything else that I'm going to talk about is more under the umbrella of my small business. So how am I making an income through my macrame activities? So first of all, there is of course this YouTube channel. I've mentioned that my goal for my subscriber numbers is that by the end of June, I would like to hit 10,000 subscribers. By now, we are over 12,000 people, which still blows my mind. It's amazing that there are so many of you that want to watch my content and so many more that watch it, but maybe you just don't want to subscribe and commit in that way, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to, as long as you enjoy my videos, that's great. In terms of that number, my goal till the end of the year, so for the next 6 months, it would be amazing if we could get to 30,000 subscribers. And just a little bit in terms of revenue, because I do have a goal there as well. So right now in June, I have made about $300 or just over $300. I would love to see that number to go to about $1,500 by the end of the year. Okay. So in terms of all of those business goals and YouTube specifically, so I definitely in the second half of the year have still seen an increase in terms of the revenue that I was able to make from my business overall, not just YouTube, but it still is a very minimal one, I would say, not a, I can quit my job and do just this and be fine. But it has increased. The YouTube numbers specifically. So if you go to my channel now, you will see that I'm at 25,000 subscribers, which means I did not hit the goal of 30,000, and my current revenue and for the past couple months has been about $500 a month. So that's definitely way below the goal of 1,500. But I know the reason for both of those things. And that's because you might remember I was not uploading for about 2 months, kind of mid-September to mid-November. And when you don't upload regularly, your YouTube numbers don't increase as much. So they still increased quite a bit. I am so proud of having the 25,000 people here with me, and I'm so glad that you're here, and also to have that revenue like that, it's just great. But obviously, if I was just continuing with my regular schedule without that break, I'm sure that those numbers would have been even better at this point. But so I'm not, too worried about that, because I know what happened, I know why, and you will learn in just a few minutes as well. But let me now keep watching this. So that was my YouTube channel. Another part of my small business is my newly launched Patreon community. I've launched it about a month and a half ago. If you haven't had the chance to check it out yet, link is in the description. Right now, it's definitely very small. There's only 8 people that have subscribed to the page, but I do hope that it will grow slowly over time, and maybe by the end of the year, we can get to 40, 50 people, something like that. That would just be amazing. But it is very difficult for me to judge how realistic is that goal. The next part was talking about my Patreon goals. And the last 6 months, I've still very much enjoyed it. But again, just as much as I had the pause for YouTube, I had that same break for my Patreon. So again, when I was mentioning that goal of 40, 50 Patreons by the end of the year, that did not happen. Currently, I have 14 Patreons on there, and thank you so much to all of you. It's been more people like throughout the year as well that have joined, maybe stayed for a month and two to see what it was like, and then maybe their financial situation has changed or whatever, and they left again. But I believe from hearing from other people as well that that's completely normal and of course understandable. So I think even if I did not have if I haven't had the break in those 2 months, I would be able to get maybe to like 20, 25 people. Like that would have been a more realistic assumption. But again, just like I was mentioning in that other video, I very much enjoyed and still enjoy doing the vlogs and doing the calls, especially those two things. Like they're just something different and something a lot more personal, I feel like. So that's something I definitely plan to keep on doing. And then the last part that I wanted to talk about when it comes to my goals is around selling my macrame, selling all the pieces that I create. And actually, one of my hopes was that in the macrame exhibition, a video linked up there, some of those pieces would get sold. Now, many of you, well, I don't want to say many, but there definitely have been a few people that have asked me for an update on how that exhibition is going. So the exhibition, just so you know, it will last until September, end of September, I think. So it is all still there. Unfortunately, nothing has sold yet. So I already had some offers to do some exhibitions in different places. So that's something that I want to look at. But I also want to reconsider setting up an Etsy shop or a website where I could direct people to and hopefully sell some of those pieces through that. And that is it. Those are kind of my focus points and priorities for the rest of the year when it comes to my macrame business. All right, in that last part, I was talking about those sales goals, and I was talking a lot about that macrame exhibition that I did. Again, link the video up there. So in the video, I said I haven't sold anything. I did end up selling 2 pieces in that exhibition in the end. It was these 2 guys. So like the bigger, a little bit more expensive ones, which I was really happy about. And I also sold one more just before Christmas. I don't think I've sold anything else other than those 3 in that second half of the year. I did get people reaching out to me asking, but usually those people were from the US or Canada, and I've looked into shipping. So if you don't know, I'm based in the Czech Republic in Europe, and shipping to the US or Canada is just crazy, especially for something that would be like that large, you know, the large pieces, and like there's wood in it, and you know it would be really fragile as well, or you know, like it's not just like a simple box of something. And so it ended up looking like the shipping would cost about as much as the piece itself, which is just, yeah, unrealistic. So I had to say no, or I didn't have to say no, but the people who reached out then have decided to not purchase any of the pieces. Completely understandable. And that's also why the Etsy shop and, you know, like things like that may not be the best way for me, because I guess I just have to focus on the market here in the Czech Republic, and I have not been doing that pretty much at all. And so those were all the areas I talked about in that video. Again, I feel like I have achieved some, and in general, I feel good about the last couple months, the second half of the year, or just 2022 in general, really. There's definitely things that I haven't achieved, but I'm not too worried about that. And I think here's the part where I want to share my news as well, because I feel like it's related to all of this. And so the big news is that I am pregnant, guys. I'm actually at 23 weeks now, so I can even show you a little bump here. Excuse the sweatpants. I just have to go with the most comfort these days. And so this is something that's been super exciting for me in the last couple months. And this is also the reason why I was not uploading for 2 months. Because those 2 months, it was like my second and third month of the pregnancy. I was definitely feeling all the sickness and completely demotivated to do anything else other than lay in bed and watch Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. That's what I did for a couple weeks. And so, you know, it was kind of like not pleasant to feel that way, but also like the reason for it was something I was super happy and excited about. So that's my big news. And that has definitely shifted a lot as well, my focus and my priorities, obviously. It's just, yeah, it's a big deal for me, and I'm definitely super excited to be a mom in just a couple months. My due date is May 6th, so that's 4 months from now, and we all know that time flies, so that will be here in no time at all. So I wanted to share with you now because, of course, like I'm progressed well enough that, you know, everything should just be fine from here on, and you might actually start seeing the bump in the videos or something, or I'll just be out of breath from talking for too long or something like that. So I wanted you to know what's been happening and kind of what to what to expect. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what will happen when I have my baby here. Will I have any time at all to do macrame? Will I want to do it even? Because at least right now, all I want to do is watch videos about the best carriers and how to go through labor and how to, I don't know, breastfeed. Like it's not that I would be freaking out. It's just that I'm super curious and excited about it. So I just want to soak up all this information and all this knowledge, and it just gets me more excited, and you know, that's how it is for me now. So even now I can feel like I definitely have this big thing that I'm putting a lot of attention to, and there is not that much left for everything else. From here, let me talk a little bit more what I do want to focus on in the next few months, although I'm not going to be as strict with myself, or you know, like those goals that I was talking about in the other video, they were pretty specific and more detailed than what I have now. So I definitely want to keep doing this whole YouTube thing and macrame thing. It is something I still enjoy, and it is something that I'm hoping in the future will also provide at least some income for me. So in terms of the kind of macrame goals that I had before, so I mentioned briefly that I'm about to do this other collaboration to test out some new quartz. So I'm really curious about that. And I still have this like curiosity and desire to try new things and experiment and, you know, all those things. So I will be doing that in the next few months as well. So that's kind of in terms of the macrame. I feel like, of course, there is room for me to improve and learn, but as I said before, I feel like I've already gotten to a pretty good stage. So I don't feel like I necessarily have to, you know, focus on improving or something like that. It's more maybe let's just have more fun with all these pieces. So that's in terms of the macrame. And then in terms of the whole small business part, with YouTube, I would love to get to the 30,000 subscribers before I have my child, which I hope is not going to be an issue because it is only 5,000 more subscribers and I have 4 months to get there. So I do hope that that's an achievable goal, and it will just be, I don't know, like nice to again like progress this a little bit. I don't think I'm going to set any goals for me in terms of the revenue, just because the last one failed so badly. I feel like when I really did not come close to that one. So I'm not sure what's realistic in that realm, but maybe if I get to, I don't know, $800 a month, like that would be a really nice income from YouTube. So what else is there? Patreon. I do want to keep growing the community and keep doing the same stuff that I've been doing so far. So the vlogs, the calls, you know, a little posts here and there. So I want to keep engaging in the same way. And maybe again, kind of before I bring a baby to this world, maybe we can get to 20 people on there. And then I think that last part was the sales goals, right? So my idea is to see if here in the city, like the small city that I live in, if there is any opportunities to do more of those exhibitions, to have those nicer pieces displayed somewhere where there is a lot more people coming in, and also people from a different I want to say environment, because the other exhibition, as you might have seen from the video, like the environment, it was this really old building. It was in a teeny tiny village, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So not really that many people came in to see it. And so if it's here in a smaller city where, you know, people also might earn more money and have more money to spend, etc., I might achieve some better results with that. So I do want to contact somebody around here to see what kind of options are there with like the different galleries or places where I can exhibit some of those, some of my pieces, some of my artwork. And then the last one, but this is more of just an idea I've had for a very long time, but I really don't know if I would be able to make that happen while I'm still pregnant. But I would love to get the experience of doing a live workshop, like a physical face-to-face workshop somewhere around here in the small city with maybe like 6 people in the class or something, and just doing a simple wall hanging or like a simple macrame project. I know that I would really enjoy that, but it would be a lot of, I think, potentially some investment to have it all set up, have all the equipment ready, have all the supplies and everything, and I would definitely have to put some effort into getting those people in there to sign up for the workshop. And so, yeah, I'm not sure. Sounds like a lot of work. So I'm not sure if I would do that again before, like while I am still pregnant, but I know it is something I would love to try at some point in the future. And so, of course, I'm being realistic, and I know that all of these goals, like, they very much depend on how my pregnancy will be going in the next few months. I'm not expecting to get sick anymore. Like, that has luckily passed, you know, that stage. But, you know, as my belly gets bigger and heavier and everything, I assume things will get harder as well, and maybe I will be more tired, I won't have as much energy, and you know, things like that. So I do realize that there's things that could, again, impact how much time or how much energy I can spend on all of this. But so I think we've gotten to the end of the video. Again, a very chatty one, but I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed going through all the recap with me. And I would love to know if any of you guys have set any, like, whether it's macrame related or small business goals, or even, like, I don't know, personal ones, or any maybe New Year resolutions, or like priorities for the new year, or something like that. Maybe there is something that can get me inspired as well. So please do share in the comments down below if you've thought about that and have any of those goals set up. And with that, I am signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.